I'm going to be building the perfect UFC White House card. Donald Trump and Dana White both announced a couple of days ago that they want to do a UFC event at the White House next year. So let's get straight into it. All these fights that I will be making will be fights that are currently not booked. Obviously the divisions are going to change, but I'm matchmaking them as the fighters are right now. To kick off the main event as the featured fight, we've got Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. Who does not want to see that fight? I think with this card specifically, you want to theme it as the British versus the Americans. And what better way to start that off with the Scouser Paddy Pimblett and come on, the All-American Justin Gaethje. Both two really exciting fighters and both massive names. Like Paddy Pimblett is more of an international superstar, where Justin Gaethje really will have that home crowd behind him. Obviously this fight will have massive title implications. I don't think Paddy Pimblett should get a title shot next. I do think it will be a bit of an upset for the Americans, though. I think Paddy Pimblett will honestly just piece up Justin Gaethje at range. I think you also want this fight as the featured fight because you want something that can really excite the fans to kick off that main card. And come on man, the hype behind this will be unreal. Even if Justin Gaethje wins, it's a win for everyone. And like I said, it starts off that British versus America kind of theme. I also think the lead up will be pretty funny to this. I think Justin Gaethje is very hard to like piss off, but I think someone like Paddy Pimblett could definitely push his buttons. You saw the beef that Michael Johnson and Justin Gaethje had to their lead up years ago, but yeah, that's an absolute banger. All right, the next fight of the main card, I'm matching up Colby Covington versus Ian Machado Gary. You're going to hear Ian Gary on the mic saying that he fought the boogeyman of the division, and you're going to hear Colby Covington in the lead up saying he's going to take Ian Gary to the 5th layer of hair. Hear me out. I know a lot of people are going to think that that's like way past the time to do it, especially with Ian Gary now surpassing Colby Covington in the rankings. I just think the year's worth of built up drama is exactly what a card like this will need. Obviously not to mention that Colby Covington is a Donald Trump glazer. I've seriously never seen anything like it. This is the fight that the fans would want to see, and I think it is past its time a little bit, but I think a card like this will really get both fighters to agree to the fight. Obviously Colby doesn't want to agree to the fight because I think he'll get destroyed. Well, he says that Ian Gary's not a big enough name, and then obviously Ian Gary probably would not accept the fight right now for a standard pay-per-view because he's past Colby in the rankings. It's very necessary for Ian Gary to fight someone like a Colby Covington because he's beat a lot of great fighters, but he hasn't beat anyone with name value. Carlos Prates is still someone that's climbing up the rankings, whereas Colby Covington is someone that was a former interim champion. He's fought at the highest level of the welterweight division somehow for the longest time, and I think that's a name that Ian Gary will need on his resume. And like I said, man, we're going to get a lot of banter in this press conference. I think that's what the UFC's really been lacking lately, is the press conference excitement. We've got Charles Oliveira up on the stage pretending like he doesn't speak English still. Ilia Topuria is kind of the only exciting one at the moment, but he aura farms a lot. So you really need a fight like this. The actual fight might not deliver. Like, I really don't think this fight will be that exciting. I think it will be Colby, you know, being slow on his feet, and Ian Gary keeping distance to get away from the wrestling, and then Ian Gary coming out of the fight acting like he completely dominated Colby Covington, even though he probably will. This next matchup, I try to build this card keeping every aspect of what the fans will want in mind. You know, you want something that's like the previous fight where it's a bit of drama and, you know, a good build up. But then this next fight, hear me out. This will be the fight that I think will be performance of the night and will really give the fans an absolute show in the actual fight itself. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. These are two fan favorites, and you do this for the BMF title. Hear me out. I think once Charles has had enough rest, he wakes up, put him against Max. Even if Max Holloway loses his next fight against Dustin Poirier, which is a trash card by the way, I will be making a video on that. I still think this is a fight you could do. Charles Oliveira coming off a loss, whether Max wins or loses. These are two guys hovering around the top of the division, but don't deserve a title shot in the lightweight division, at least yet. Especially with Max Holloway, I think even if he beats Dustin Poirier, because he lost to Ilia Topuria one fight ago, you can't just give him another title shot. He's got to go through at least one or two more guys, in my opinion. Pause. So this fight just makes complete sense to me. This will be an absolute war on the feet. I do think Charles will try to get it to the ground because who would want to strike with Max Holloway? Now moving on to the co-main event. This might be a bit of a controversial take. Make Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. I know there's a portion of the audience that absolutely hates women MMA fights. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of snoozers, but this is genuinely one of the WMMA fights that you can make that is worthy of a card like this. And both of these women are exciting fighters, let's be real. Amanda Nunes, the greatest female UFC fighter of all time, versus Kayla Harrison. She just beat the girl that did beat Amanda Nunes one time. I don't know how, but you have to do this. I think as a co-main event, this is perfect. I think this will be a really good fight standing, but I think Kayla Harrison will definitely get pieced up. I think she'll try and take Amanda down because obviously we saw her get submitted by Juliana Pena. Again, I don't know how. And obviously Kayla Harrison is beloved in America, and you just know there'll be a lot of trash talk from Kayla Harrison. Amanda will kind of just be sitting there not saying anything. But yeah, funny build up and I think decent fight. Now moving on to the main event of the evening, I've picked an obvious one, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I think the only fight that could come close to something like this in terms of hype would be Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. But in my opinion for this card, obviously it has to be a belt on the line. Obviously Jon Jones is American, maybe not the ideal citizen, and Tom Aspinall, British. We recently saw Jon Jones tweeted that he re-entered the testing pool. Yeah, right. We all know Jon Jones constantly aura farming, and I think with all of the ducking allegations, I think an event like this is genuinely something that the UFC could leverage to make him fight Tom. I believe Aspinall would dominate Jon Jones. I think he'll be way too fast, way too slick on the feet, and just imagine the build up to this fight. Holy smokes. Jon Jones just getting rage baited by how nice Tom Aspinall is. This is the fight that everybody has wanted for so long, and I think if Tom Aspinall goes through it, maybe through 2 more fights, I think in a year's time, this is a fight that you could definitely do. By then Aspinall will have a better resume, and then Jon Jones will have no excuse. He can't say he's just another guy that's, you know, hot right now, pause. I actually don't even know why he said that. Jon Jones said he wanted 6 months to train for someone like Tom Aspinall. Well, there you go, you get a whole year. But yeah, these are all of the matchups for the main card that I made for the UFC White House pay-per-view. Hopefully this happens, because I think this would be absolutely insane. It's what the UFC needs. We need more things like this, because I think it's been getting a little bit stale lately. We got a gosh darn Derek Lewis main event this weekend. Come on, man. Let me know what you guys think, anything that you would do differently. Make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.